Hello, everyone. Welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. I'm your host, Lee Marvin, attorney of 20 years, specializing in immigration law for 11, almost 12 years, I guess. I don't know. I got to do the math again. But welcome tonight for a very special edition of Live with Lee. So this live video that I do every week is an opportunity for people to ask questions that they can't get answers to otherwise, and a chance for me to talk about topics that have come up, talk about immigration trends, things that are relevant to my clients and people that closely watch and rely on immigration, mostly because of their families. Okay. So I always tell everyone to post your comments, questions in the comment section. Post questions. So that I can answer your questions and provide you the best information possible in the short period of time that I'm here with you every Monday. Post questions. So the first topic that I was going to talk about tonight, I got a number of questions that I prepare. Basically, clients have asked questions, so I save them just in case y'all don't post your questions, so that I have very interesting stuff for you, okay? But the biggest thing that everybody is probably wondering about is the announcement that has been teased and teased and teased by the Biden administration, that's still being teased, that supposedly tomorrow the Biden administration is going to release information about the new program, that's the parole in place program for spouses of U.S. citizens. This is a massive, massive program. I mean, this is, if you've ever heard of DACA, this blows DACA out of the water, because what this does is this allows people who entered the country illegally, who overstayed their visas, who are basically inside the United States without authorization, and who don't have the ability to move forward with their green card process without having to leave the country and get a 10-year bar. Who's going to do that? If you know that you're going to be barred from re-entering the country and coming back to your family for 10 years, come on, that's ridiculous. So this program, this parole in place, was actually, it's been around for a while, but it's been used mostly for military members. So the family members of service members serving in the military or veterans of the United States military, there's a program that's been heavily used by those family members. Basically, what it is you get approved by the government. You got to meet all these requirements. It's a humanitarian-based process that basically allows somebody to get permission to not leave the country. You get this parole in place, and what a parole does through the legal system, a parole is basically the government's approval or recognition that you are legally allowed to be in the United States for limited purposes. So this parole in place allows people to stay in the country, to change their status, and then to qualify for a green card, okay? Huge benefit. And again, I've had lots of clients using this through the military parole in place program. It is a major, major program. I've had a lot of other clients that I've helped do something similar to it, which is advanced parole. If you've heard of that, that's for people with DACA are able to leave the country and come back, and it does the same thing. It corrects your unauthorized presence in the United States. Well, it's better if you don't have to leave the country, right? Because there's all sorts of risks if you ever do have to leave. So again, if you're joining me, please type your questions. Welcome to the program. I'm talking about this new parole in place program that Biden is supposed to be announcing tomorrow. I think there's a pretty phenomenal chance that it will be released tomorrow. It would kind of be political suicide if he doesn't do it tomorrow, because they're promoting so much about it. I think it's high time. I think it's an absolute mind-blowing game changer for literally millions of people, okay? So if you fit this description, you need to stand by and watch. You watch my social media, you watch the news, you watch everything, because this is going to change millions of people's lives and families. So it's huge, huge, huge. So, so that's what's going on tomorrow. Okay. I don't know what time. I've heard different reports. It's all kind of conjecture at this point when it's going to be released. I think it will be released. Okay. When is the big question. So you need to stand by and pay attention to the news. Okay. What can you do to prepare for it? Assuming we fast forward in time tomorrow, 1 day from today, 24 hours from now, we have the announcement. Then what? Okay. Well, Biden is going to announce that they're going to release this new program, and the government is going to tell you what it means, what you need to do to qualify for it, all the things that you have to include in your filing, because it's not just a giveaway. You have to meet very specific requirements for this. And if you meet it, then you can get this incredible, mind-blowing benefit through immigration law. Okay. So the things that I'm telling my clients to prepare for. We don't really know what the requirements are, but we have a pretty good clue. And by we, I mean people that are in the business and do this kind of stuff. Okay, I'm getting questions. So let me finish this, and then I'm going to answer the questions. So what can you do to prepare for this? Get your ducks in a row. Get organized. Get information. Get relationship information. I'll talk more about that in a bit, okay? So questions. I've got some questions from some very dear friends on Instagram, okay? Will this benefit DACA in any way, okay? So this is, screen names are really hard to read, but it looks like Jessica, okay? So it'll help DACA if you happen to be married to a U.S. citizen. Heck yeah, okay? DACA is great. It helps you in the short term get work permits and driver's license and all sorts of things. It protects you more than anything. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen and this program is released, you're on DACA, great. You don't have to be on DACA. That's the amazing thing. You have protections. But there's people that have been here for decades that have no protections. Those are the intended audience for this. But anyone who's in the country without legal status will be able to benefit from this. DACA, you have some form of legal status, but yes, you can absolutely benefit from this, okay? I'm a resident, and I will like to bring my mom to the U.S. Can you help? Or is it possible at all? So I can help in most things. It depends what you mean by bring your mom to the U.S. If we're talking short-term tourist visa stuff, yeah. If you're talking about sponsoring your mom for a green card, then no. Because as a legal permanent resident, you do not have the right under the law to sponsor your parents. Okay, you can sponsor spouses and children, but not parents. So if that answers your question, I can definitely help you with it. If you have more specific questions about any of this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and post this link because this is how you get in touch with me, which is right here. If you need more detailed information than this quick live session, click that link and schedule time to talk directly to me, okay? Let's see, what else do we have? Let me look up here if I skipped anything. Again, post your questions. If you're joining us today for the first time, heartfelt welcome. I do this every week, and this is a chance for me to provide information to people that don't know where to go, don't know who to trust. This is why I do this, okay? So join me every week and post your questions, please, because your questions are what keep this interesting and actually provide value to everyone on this live broadcast. So thank you for everyone who's joined and who joins every week. I see a lot of the same names as every week. So thank you for people that continue to support the community and bringing your questions and your attention, okay? Let's see, do I have anything here? Okay, so post your questions. In other words, keep engaged. So that's the parole in place, okay? The new parole in place. What I was saying before is what sorts of things can you do to prepare for it? Well, I think the most important thing, if you haven't already done it, a lot of people haven't because this is such a new concept that people haven't been planning at all. It's always a good idea to get your financial information, your relationship information, kid information. That's absolutely a given. But more important than that is to have an approved petition from your spouse to be able to move forward with the green card process. A lot of people don't do it or haven't done it because they think, well, what's the point? I can't move forward anyway. Wrong attitude. I've told people for years, you do it when you can because you never know when you're going to need it. And people are always like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, no, seriously. If you don't have what you need, when the government does one of these random things where they change a policy that all of a sudden millions of people can benefit, then you're going to be behind by months. Because as we know, immigration works very slowly, okay? So if you're not planning ahead, if you're not ahead of the curve, you can still do it, but it's going to take you longer. And the thing is, and I'm telling everybody this, whether you're my clients or somebody else's clients, or you're doing it yourself, do not wait. Do not wait. With this new Parole in Place program, do not wait. If you have the ability to do this next week, you do it. Because guess what? Things change. Presidents change. We don't know if Biden's going to last. We don't know if Trump's going to come back. We don't know if, the sky's going to fall. So you always plan for the best scenario for you and your family to move forward, okay? So that means doing it the second you can, because this happened with DACA. Along came President Trump, and he decided to kill it. And lots of people suffered because of that. Don't let this happen to you. Stay on top of things, and if you have the ability to file, you do it. The day this comes out, you're going to be calling, you're going to be scheduling a consultation, you're going to be calling my office. Here's my link on here. So we can get started right away before things change, before things get weird, because things always do with immigration. They always get weird. So stand by for more information about that, okay? So what else do we have? Well, thank you for everyone joining us. Please post your questions in the comment section so I can provide you some really beneficial information. But how do I know it's beneficial? Okay, I know a lot of beneficial things, but what's beneficial to you? Well, you got to ask those questions so I can provide that information to you, okay? So I'm looking here to see any other questions. Post your questions, please. In case I didn't say it already, post your questions. Okay, so that's the big to do tomorrow. I think I'm expecting earlier part of the morning, meaning before lunchtime. I expect that we're going to hear something from Washington about this. I don't know the logistics. I don't know how it works. I think it really comes down to the president standing in the Rose Garden or any millions of other places where there's a camera and a microphone, and he announces what he wants to do, because he's got that executive action power. So he can do it. Post your questions. So Lilibeth, it would be very helpful if you had some suggestions, okay? Because I'm waiting for questions, okay? Please post your questions so I can provide more meaningful content, okay? I did have some questions that I wrote down from earlier today, okay? So I've harped on this Parole in Place thing enough. So let me get some of the questions that I had from clients earlier today. Okay. Okay. This was a question. There's issues with waiting to do a filing for a process if you're already in an overstay status. Again, my advice is to always do things as soon as you can. You don't wait around for things to change. So overstay status, it's a weird thing, okay? It's a new concept, probably within the last few years, 2 years maybe. where everything is like, you overstayed. Okay, well, I entered legally, right? Yeah, but you overstayed. Now you're illegal. That's been the new thing under this current administration. It's created lots of problems for people. So the thing is, if you are in an overstay status, it's a very delicate thing because the administration might not actually approve your request. I had clients, they were fit to be tied. They were so pissed at me because the Biden administration decided not to approve their thing because their spouse overstayed their freaking visa, right? I can't help that, right? I can help you apply for things, but I can't predict, I can't control whether the government, whether immigration is going to honor somebody's legal entry into the United States, or if they're going to hose them by saying that they overstayed. So if you've overstayed, you got to be careful. You got to check. Everything comes down to how long you've overstayed, whether you're going to be able to move forward or not. Okay, so that's a question that I get a lot of people asking about. Okay, okay. So this has come up a lot too. The importance of knowing about your criminal background, your criminal records. We're always talking to people, especially on our case evaluations, our free case evaluations, where people ask questions about, can I qualify for this, or this? And we always ask them the question, do you have a criminal history? And they're like, well, what difference does that make? Huge difference, because most of immigration, you're invalidated if you have certain types of crimes, okay? So if you have a criminal history, you need to get on top of things. So you need to get your records so you can communicate to your attorney, because lots of clients I've had come my way, they say, oh, I don't know, it wasn't a big deal. It's just a couple of felonies. It wasn't very serious. I'm sorry, what? A couple of felonies, not serious? No, it's as serious as a heart attack. But there are certain things that are not as serious under immigration law, but you need to know what you had. You can't just say, it happened a few years ago. I'm not really sure. Not good enough, man. You need to know your stuff. So know your criminal history. Get your records. Go ahead and do it ahead of time. And that goes for this parole in place thing. You have criminal history, start getting your records, because that's absolutely going to be a pivotal part of this process. If you've had any sort of criminal history, immigration is not going to approve a parole in place if you've got a certain type of history. And guess what? If you do, and you think, oh, I'm just gonna benefit from this, and I'm gonna qualify for it. Well, what if you don't? What if you have a criminal history that exposes you to risk? Because immigration always has the ability to pick and choose and to make a determination whether you meet the requirements or whether you violate immigration law, and you're subjecting yourself to more risk. So know your criminal history and be prepared to provide that information to your attorney when you move forward next week with this parole in place or whatever it is, okay? So again, post your questions, please. Post questions, okay? Because we need more information, okay? Yep. We need more questions so I can provide good information to you guys, okay? So let me go back to the questions that I was asked earlier. Why? Oh yeah, this gets asked a lot, and sometimes the question, and I don't mean to be glib about it, but the question is, the answer to a lot of these questions is, well, people say, why blah blah blah? Because that's the law. That's what immigration says. Like in this, fiancé visas. Why do I have to meet my fiance within 2 years of filing for my fiancé visa? Because them's the rules. Immigration, Congress said that this is what it takes to get a fiancé visa. One of the most important parts of the fiancé visa requirements is the 2-year in-person meeting. You can't fake it. I've had clients to try. Immigration sees right through it, okay? So 2-year requirement is because it's the law, okay? I've had this question a lot lately too. The differences between adopting a child and applying for them. So basically, if you're not the biological parent, biological father, let's say, of a child living overseas with someone that you're going to sponsor for immigration. You can sponsor your spouse, but what if they're the children of your spouse? Okay. What do? Do you adopt? Or is there a way for you to bring those children into the United States? There is. Okay. Adoption is a good idea if you're there in your relationship, but it's not always required. Okay. So you can, in many cases, especially with a fiance visa, you can include the minor children of your significant other for the fiance visa. They can get a fiance visa along with their parent to come to the United States, and the non-relative petitioner parent can get them a green card. That's a big deal. You guys might not really realize that, but that is a really big deal to be able to sponsor somebody that you might not have even met, right? Or met very briefly. To be able to sponsor them for a green card is huge. So you don't always have to adopt your significant other's children, but it does help if you can do it, okay? The adoption stuff, bringing the minor children of your new spouse or your fiance, okay? You can absolutely include them if you do it the right way, okay? Because otherwise, the long-term process is that you sponsor your significant other, your fiance, or whatever it is, you get them a green card, and then they sponsor their children. That's usually how it works. But you have a unique opportunity. If the kids are minors, you have a unique opportunity to be able to include them as well. If you have questions about it, click on the link I posted above to schedule a consultation so we can talk about it, okay? Let's see. What else do we have here? Lots of things under here. Okay, let me go down here. Okay. Lots of friends joining us, but not tons of people asking questions. So please post your questions. Okay, I can't click on that link, and I tried to send you a private message, and it said you don't allow new messages from anyone. I don't know what that is. Can I email you my questions? Yes, you can. Let's see. How else do we do it? Well, here's another way of questions. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can post questions on there too. You watch one of my videos, you can post questions in the comment section. If you're not able to do it here tonight, I don't know why that is. I apologize for that. I'll try to look into seeing how I can fix that. You can always go to my website, marvinlawoffice.com. There's email accounts there. Info at marvinlawoffice.com is an email address that you can absolutely send stuff to if you have questions. A lot of times when people send me things like that, I end up converting those into videos and I post them on the channel. So reach out to us, okay? Let's see. All right, so what else do we have? We have okay, so other questions. Post your questions. No one's posting questions, which means we got 6 minutes left. And if nobody posts questions, I can just end easier or more quickly. But again, post your questions on social media. Again, my YouTube channel, that's a great place to do it. So post your questions if you need things. If you want to schedule a consultation, that's great too, okay? So what questions do we have? Did I miss any questions on here? I don't think I did. So, okay, thank you for sharing. You're welcome. Did I miss anything from earlier? Let me look one more time, okay, to see what things I had. Okay, being able to adjust your process. If somebody decides to get a tourist visa after filing for a spouse visa. Okay, so there's always a lot of questions about the spouse visa, and then once you started the spouse visa process, can you legally enter the United States? Can you visit? What can you do? What can you not do? Absolutely can. If you start the fiance or the spouse visa process, you can also get a tourist visa and enter the country. In many cases, this administration has been pretty good about allowing people to adjust their status inside the United States if they enter with a tourist visa. That's not always been the case. Sometimes it's an absolute outright denial, and you cannot do that. It's a coin toss whether this administration is going to continue to allow people to do that. So it is a possibility. Okay, I'll just say that. So let's see, what else do we have? Okay. So again, we're going to take the last few questions here, and then we're going to wrap it up for this week's session. Stand by for tomorrow, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to come out tomorrow. The Biden administration is going to announce this program, and you all are going to want to get on it right away. Do not delay. Do not wait. Do not dally. Yep. Don't wait. Just do it. Move forward. Every time you get a chance to do anything with immigration, you do it right away. Of course, you got to consult with somebody who knows what they're doing, just in case it's a bad idea. But if you have the ability to do it and there's no reason legally why you can't, then you should right away. So again, with that, I think that I don't see any new questions here. I see a lot of people that have joined. So thank you for joining us this week. And again, join me next week. I do it every Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is Detroit time. I do it every week, and I love to have a lot of friends on here. Last question I see here. Can you apply for and change your status if you are in the U.S. with a tourist visa? It depends on what you're trying to change your status to. So the answer to that question is yes, you can, but it depends what it is, okay? There's certain things that they do not allow you, they meaning immigration, the law doesn't allow you to change to certain types of processes while you're inside the United States. They make you leave and go back to your embassy in your country to get that approval to re-enter the country. If you got specific questions about the type of visa, you can reach out directly to me by using the link that I posted before, and schedule a consultation. So you can always ask me that question in a consultation. So please let me know if you have any questions about this. Again, thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. Stand by for tomorrow's announcement by the Biden administration, and then reach out to me as soon as possible so that I can help you move forward with your process. Again, thank you everyone who joined us tonight, and we will see you next week.